Hi, everybody. My name is Timothy Mitchell, and I am the Practical Printer. There
Hi,
was a
Tim.
product that was released. Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. I'll get to you in just a
Hello.
second. There was a product released about a year ago, officially, that I saw and at a particular show, and I thought it was truly one of the few products you could say it is a game changer. It is revolutionary. It's groundbreaking, and that is a product called FastSewn. FastSewn. And I have with me today, for the second visit on the Practical Printer, Steen Mikkelsen, who's the founder and visionary. Hi, Steen. How are you?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Well, thank you. And then I also have Jim Manelsky, who is the director of sales for North America. Jim, welcome aboard.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, guys, I'm a huge fan. I talk about your product to anyone who will listen because I think it changes the industry in a meaningful way. You're going to be at FESPA coming up, correct?
Yes. Yep.
All right. That's going to be in Barcelona in about a little more than a week.
Yep.
And it's 4 days. We're all going to be there. Steen, I saw what you guys made at at Printing United and then, at ISA. What what has changed? What is the newest set of innovations that you guys have produced? And for those of people who are kind of new to this particular product, what is it that you made exactly? What is fast sewn?
It is a whole new way of combining sewing and cutting into one platform, allowing two-dimensional, meaning flat, sewn items to be produced almost like on a flatbed cutter, but also equipped with a sewing tool. So it'll do both steps in one go. And we have been working on this for 5 years as of about a month ago. And at Printing United in Orlando, where we met you, that was our third prototype. And
Okay,
it has gone through the paces. And now
sure.
what we're going to show is the expanded version, the final version. That's what we're going to
Okay.
show at FESPA.
All right.
Yep.
So, from what I understand, the prototype that I saw was relatively small,
Yeah.
1.2 meters, something like that.
Right.
But what you guys have built, because the goal of this, as I understand it, is you can fully automate the entire process. Because, I was there when you came out with the MCT laser cutter, which I used all the time at HP, right? I cut all my stuff with it. I thought it was great.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
so, you already mastered a laser cutter for textiles and fabrics.
Yep.
And that was in a 3.3 meter or 3.2 meter space, right? Because we ran 10-foot
Yep.
rolls on it all the time.
Yes.
And now what you seem to have done is you found a way, and that's really the patented innovations here of bringing a full sewing operation. It's still a bit of a mystery to me. I mean, I look at all of the videos of how it works. This MCT cavity that you've built, so that you can sew.
Right.
Because really, what you're doing is you're sewing first, and
Yep.
then you're going and laser cutting it all, so that
Right.
now one person running, the knowledge of an XY flatbed router,
Yep.
any flatbed router technology, if you have that understanding, you can
Yep.
apply that to all of the laser finishing and sewing for things like SEG frames,
That's correct.
completely automated, right?
Yep.
One person running that just like they would run a
Yep.
standard flatbed can now run a full sewing operation without teams of sewers and steps and all this. And it's all perfect. Like it's exactly what the specifications indicate.
The invention is, or the the challenge is, how do you put a needle through a flatbed cutter?
Right, right, exactly. How do
And
you do that?
yeah, and uh, because with cutting, you can process from the top. You can have a needle. You can have a knife, or you can have a laser, you can have a router that processes
Yeah,
onto a surface. and moving around. But when you sew, now you got to get the needle through the surface. And that's not so easy on a vacuum table. It's impossible. Can't do that. So the idea came up. I'd actually worked on it for more than a year because I thought it is really an interesting problem with sewing. It's such a fantastic way to join materials and make products, but it's so annoying it can't be done on a flatbed cutter, because flatbed cutters is such a practical tool. It's used for all kinds of things nowadays, but could we
Sure.
just find a way to do some sewing too? And I visited all kinds of interesting companies and robotic companies and engineers, and basically it all got turned down. It's too difficult. Sewing requires, the thing is that textiles are wonderful because they conform, they stretch, they adapt to the body or to whatever, and with SEG, adapt to the frame. So it's not so easy to process. But the thing with flatbed cutters is that because there you lay the fabric still, and now you got control of it. But how the heck do we get the needle through? And that came to me after I'd given up. I took everything I've been working on and put it in a big box, put it away, and then I took a nap. And then suddenly I had this, half dream, half awake or half sleeping. Oh yeah, if we can make a temporary bypass or a temporary cavity that moves around. So basically, if we can make a hole on a flat surface that can move around with a needle and still maintain a surface where the material can be held with vacuum. And I did the right thing. I actually wrote it down right away on a piece of paper.
Yeah, when the inspirational muses give you a gift, you have to write it down quickly.
That's right. Yeah. And I had actually, I had this. It was time. I decided I was going to retire, but then I thought to myself, this is a really good idea. That would be a bummer.
Steen, I agree with you. It was a really good idea.
So I had to get back in the saddle, hire engineers, hire machinist, hire a good business team, hire Jim and Steve in the U.S. And then also very importantly, I met the right engineer here in Denmark that he wasn't even finished from engineering school yet. He was at his finals, and he needed a project for his finals. And I said, here's a good problem for you. And he looked at my drawing and said, no, that shouldn't be a problem. And then he got to work, and he built a wonderful version 1.0 of this that could fit on it. It wasn't very big, could fit on a table. And he measured that thing 1,000 times, that if we moved this little hole around on this surface, that the material was not disturbed. That the key with this was, don't move the fabric between the sewing and the cutting. Make sure it's in the same position. Help with vacuum. And he managed to. He proved that. He got his examen with top grades, and then I hired him immediately. Don't go anywhere. We need to finish this. So, and his name is Rasmus, and Rasmus and I worked together now for 4 years on this. And Printing United, that was our third prototype, and that has really proven out all the goals we had, that we could roll feed. We could feed in from 1 or 2 rolls or more, and with a conveyor system, roll it in, to the machine, turn on the vacuum, and then start sewing. And we like to do the sewing first because then that again reduce the risk of anything shifting. And that's the whole key is nothing can shift because then we lose accuracy. And then we added a laser. We had, like you mentioned, we had a lot of experience working with lasers.
Sure.
And added that to, and that now we have a sewing combined with a laser, and it's automated from rolls, 1, 2, or more. So it's
Okay.
a new breed, and the key is it processes for two sides. With cutters, you process from the top, but suddenly now we can actually process from both sides, and that opens up a whole slew of new opportunities.
Right.
Not only
Well,
sewing.
also I also assume it opens up challenges for all of your visual. I mean, you were a pioneer in both the software and the execution of telling, routers and
Yeah.
cutters and laser cutters what to do,
Mm.
how to identify what's on the bed and cut precisely.
Yes.
Obviously, you were instrumental in the software that everyone in the industry uses,
Yeah.
and you have a long background in that. You have a background in all of the process that went into this. It was just that how do you register now from top and bottom? Your camera systems have to be in two places now, don't they?
Yeah. It's a new twist to vision registration. But they are our experience for 20 years with iCut and Tiger that we used at MCT with the laser
Right.
cutters come in very handy. And
Sure.
we've been fortunate to have some of the same from the same team working with us. So we had a kind of a flying start, a running start on a lot of this, except from Rasmus. But the good thing with him was that he didn't know it's difficult, so he just got to work on it. That's a nice attitude to have when you have a new problem.
Sure. Yeah.
Just get on
Right.
with it.
You remain blissfully confident that this is doable, even not
Oh yeah,
knowing the carnage of all the people who have tried and
right.
failed.
Yeah. I told me do this every day. So, so the vision is now from both from the top and from below, and
Right.
because, like I said before, we can process from two sides. We can certainly also look with the camera, look upwards, and we can look down. So we can do both. So
Okay.
that's allowing us to do registration, for example, for SEG, where you have the image downwards and you're sawing on
Right.
the backside. So it's definitely
Right.
that's part of the new system
Okay.
that would,
So the
yeah,
new system you're going to have there is you're going to have a live demo of the full-fledged
yeah,
new
yes,
you name them very smart, by the way. The Fast Sewn 33,
yeah,
which the Fast Sewn 33 is 3.3 meters, right? So it's real
yes.
simple.
And
And
to
you're
make it easier,
and you've sort
we actually have it consists of 33 belts.
really
Um,
33
yeah,
belts.
yes.
Well, it's
So
becoming like numerical mysticism. It's great.
we like 33. That's our big.
Yeah.
That's our number.
Yes, you do. That
Yeah,
is your number.
but
So
of
you
course,
have it. It's all going to be there and available,
yeah,
and you're going to have a lot of new features that will be shown on this as a
yes,
fully fledged, you know, ready to roll. Um, I want to
right,
call it sewing laser cutter, because you
yeah,
sew first, then you laser.
yeah, yes,
It is going to have options for an additional knife, an
yeah,
oscillator or a rotary if you choose. As
right,
some things don't need a laser or the laser
yeah,
wouldn't be the right choice, so you can use that.
yeah, yeah.
Sounds like you've
Jim,
also hooked up with Karen to handle all of the loading. How do you make sure
yes,
fabric automatic? 3.2 meter rolls are big, right?
right, yeah.
So you tell me a little bit about the Karen duo.
Um, yeah, or maybe Jim, you can explain. You know more about that than
Yeah,
I do. You work with it.
sure.
Yeah,
Karen is well known as a standard in the print industry for specializing in industrial strength loading devices. So they're
Sure.
used in other cutters. They're also used on a very high-end industrial 3.2 meter printers as a loading device. It's highly accurate, and the Duo has the advantage of being able to offer a cradle feed or a feed through a air shaft
Cool.
that actually clamps onto the roll. So it's very flexible, and it's a really nice addition to enhance the workflow of the FastSewn system, particularly on the 3.3 meter.
Good. Yeah,
It's something we
obviously
learned at MCT that is really important to get the material conveyed or rolled off into the cutting surface with a very accurate, consistent tension. You don't want overstretching or you don't want wrinkles. It's really important it gets presented to the machine in a consistent, reliable manner, and that's what the cairn will do a nice job for us.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
it's an attention to workflow detail that you learn through experience. And I agree with you 100%. To have this Karen feeder is critical to being able to execute rather than having something that at the front end of your workflow is causing the roll not to go onto, onto
Right.
the sewer laser
Yeah.
efficiently and consistently so that it can be automated. You don't want
Right.
to have to keep pulling all this stuff out. The whole idea is automated, complete end-to-end sewing and finishing, and there's your finished product.
And
Yeah,
the
another
thing with
nice feature.
SEGs, they can. Oh, sorry, Jim.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, with the SEG, they can get very large.
Yeah.
I mean, now we can process up to 3.3 meters, but I mean, they can be, 6-10 meters long. So it's very important that the stretch is within parameters. And by the way we process graphics longer than the table is that we will sew and cut the first section 3 by 3 by 3, and then we'll index we'll convey it forward, and that's where the vision comes in very handy, because we will just re-register to where we left off before we indexed, and that way it gets very accurate. Pretty much, in theory, I won't guarantee you that FESPA, but maybe later. we can make a graphic as long as a roll. It's the same thing with the cutters. You could also make decals for RVs or other items that are very, very long. So that's the same thing we can do with the sewing.
It sounds like the vision system is ensuring that any distortion that happens in the process is in the printing process, because you have a file and then you have the print and then you have whatever went through the calendared press.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not going to necessarily be exactly the same. The vision says, okay, we're going to scale this appropriately because we know where it actually is, not where it is in theory on the file. Here's where it is. We identify it. That's the line. These are the points. And now you can just do longer runs because your registration is precise.
We also have, especially when you do dye sublimation from paper, I mean, you can have jobs that are snaking down along the line. So and that has to be compensated for. So the edges are still cut and sewn to the edge of the graphics, and so there's a lot of little things that's happening, and important things that are happening with the vision registration.
All right, marvelous. Any other cool, because you're going to have this here at FESPA. I think it's a really remarkable product. You're in the we built it. Like, it's not a prototype. It's not a proof of concept. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
This thing is real. This thing can be put onto a floor. Jim, you want to talk a little bit about, is it available globally? Is it available just in North America? I mean, what's the go-to-market strategy?
Our go-to-market strategy is really thorough. We have the capability to build both in Denmark and in the U.S. in a facility we've taken on in Wisconsin. So our intent is to build all the U.S. Order units in the U.S., which it gives us a cost savings. It also insulates us from whatever tariff situation might be in place at the time that we're shipping. So I'm pleased to tell you that we have 7 orders already in the US for the 3.3
Oh,
meter
great.
machine. We have 2 beta sites that'll be going in very shortly, and then 5 other orders beyond that. And I expect that at FESPA we'll be getting a lot of attention and perhaps orders in Europe as well.
It seems to me that this thing isn't just, it's focused now because FESPA's, when you look at a trade show, everything you see virtually is either a pillowcase over, a stretch frame,
Mm.
or it's an SEG, right? So that's an obvious market that since you guys also can sew the SEG right onto it, you
Correct.
have an enormous opportunity for everyone to change the way the whole workflow goes, including you can now have all of your finishing and your printing wherever you want to put it. You don't have to locate your printers where the sewing is. Because you're
No.
sewing now, this whole room is full of sewers where you had to have that done. Now you're like, well, I may as well then move my printers to where the sewers are. Well, now you can have the printers wherever you want them because your sewing is now one person running automated systems.
Yep.
Completely different structural logistics here. And I think that's brilliant. You guys now have this thing set up, ready to go, ready to demonstrate, but it's not just SEG frame and pillowcase and trade show. I'm looking in the list of applications and they are extensive. Either you
Mm.
guys want to talk about all the things, because this is a market we're targeting here, but I'm looking at the list of applications you do where you have 75% to 90% complete off the cutter sewer laser. I'm like, that's going to open up doors for people that never thought, hey, I can automate all this now. Want to talk to the application breadth a little bit?
Yeah, it's interesting. The requests we're getting several requests every week from all kinds of applications where sewing is needed and a challenge, especially a challenge to find people here in the West that wants to make sewing a career. That's not happening so much. I have people like companies in Denmark. They say, well, when our last 2 sewers are retiring, we're going to close down because we can't find anybody. But there are a lot of things that sewing has a lot of good properties for combining or attaching materials to each other, and we have run into something like bulletproof vest.
Sure.
And there we're not talking about 1, 2 layers. We're talking about 50 layers that has to be joined and cut. And again, it's a combination of the sewing and the cutting that saves a tremendous amount of time, because the way they do it many places now is you have one department doing the cutting, and that has been automated for a number of years with flatbed cutters. But then it has to be carried over to another department, and then somebody has to match it all up, and then usually manually sew it. But guide it through a sewing machine. So tremendous potential for cost savings in the handling and then also in the automation. There's just a long list. We actually spent. I'm not an engineer, but I had other people taking care of the engineering. But I could spend time on analyzing the applications. Which applications would it make sense to start with? Because we certainly could get confused from day one by doing too much. So took the trip through. We started with airbags. Then we wanted the car seats. Then we wanted the furniture. We went the whole diet through, and I'm so happy that we got right back to where we started, which is
Right.
graphics. Yeah. And it's a good place because sewing is usually not something in the graphics that people really love to do. It just has to get done.
Yes.
And if we can help with that,
I can state with a great deal of certainty
yeah,
that sewing and identifying sewers and having reliable sewers is a massive bottleneck in the United
Yeah.
States and Canada.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just is.
No question.
So we
Right?
came.
I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me on that.
No.
I mean, the other opportunities are still there. They're not gone away or anything. We're just gonna wait and go. We will probably partner with other companies that are embedded in these other industries because there's simply too much. There's too many opportunities that we can handle. So we're gonna take. We'll start with graphics, and we want to absolutely do the best possible job we can to. And I also love the graphics. The graphics is a great area to be in. It's a fun business, creative people. So that's where we're headed, and then we'll dabble a little bit with some of the other opportunities. But
Wonderful.
yeah.
Well, one side note, I saw that you, and I think this is very smart because I think it's a great software. Caldera has a software. It's called Prime
Yep.
Center, and it's brilliant at handling the whole front end. Right, your
Yep.
RIP now just basically handles color. You give it a file, it handles the color component, but all of the layout and all of the finishing links, all of your information that goes to the cutter is all handled with Prime Center, and you guys formed a relationship with them, which is, I think, brilliant for this, right? I mean, I found the software, I heard the pitch and went, hey, that's great, love the idea, and now you can run any RIP you want, and then you just let Prime Center handle all the front end.
Yep. Oh, it's very smart. And now I'll give a lot of credit to Caldera. They were the first ones to contact us from the RIP or the pre-press community. How can we work together? And then we put out our request, our wish list. What could they do to automate the workflow? And Caldera done a very nice job, pretty quick too, implementing the features that we need to prepare jobs to be printed, sewn, and cut. So it's addressing all three steps in the Prime Center. So it's that we're going to show at FESPA in about 10 days. Yeah.
Good. Well, now that we mentioned FESPA, I think it's time to let everyone know you're going to be in Hall 3, booth A144, right? Hall 3, booth A144.
That's
and,
right.
If anyone is coming to FESPA, and we encourage, I mean, come on, it's in Barcelona. You will not have a better lure to come to FESPA than coming to Barcelona. Great city, obviously a lot to do. And you'll be showing the fully finished operational 3.3 meter with all the bells and whistles and all the pieces and components, and doing full demos on everything.
Well, we're gonna do it in two phases. The booth is not big enough. The 3.3 is too big to bring.
Okay.
We could not get
that
a
is
big
a big
enough
machine.
booth on. So we're showing the prototype 1.2 by 1.2, and then we're gonna do every hour. We'll do live demos from Denmark where the 3.3 is installed.
Okay.
And
Video feed.
and we'll have people in Denmark demonstrating and answering questions from the live audience in Barcelona. So it's a double, let's say, viewing. But the machine in Barcelona will work exactly as the one in Denmark. It will be the same, just bigger. And
right. Yeah. And a few more additional features like the Karen Duo and other things, which are applicable to a 3.3 meter. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I encourage everyone to see it. I encourage everyone to think carefully about what this vision is. It is a structural change across the industry. I mean, it is truly a game changer. It changes the way you would construct a business and, for example, where you would locate everything even.
Right.
You don't have to move to the sewers because all the room's full of sewing machines for certain applications, but certainly a lot of the ones that are in our market, that is now automatable.
The thing, the way we discuss a lot is that this is opening up for many new opportunities for graphics, for printers, because now the finishing is not such a limitation or bottleneck anymore. You could actually make all new products that are digitally printed and sewn and cut without having the pain of how do we finish it.
Right.
So we can call it the fifth color or the sixth.
Sure.
So yeah. So
Congratulations.
there'll be many new interesting things coming. It might take a little while before people pick up the creative ideas here, but I am sure it will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say thank you to both of you for joining me, and I want to say thank
Tim.
you to the muse that came to you after you've thrown in the towel.
Oh yeah.
Came and said,
Yeah.
I got an idea, Steen, but you're going to have to write it down quick.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's wonderful.
I'm happy to share it.
I encourage everyone to come by FESPA and see something that's going to change the industry. You can say you saw it there first. Take care, fellas. Have a
Yep.
wonderful afternoon.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Timothy.
Tim.
Thank you. Bye.